those who ground me.
Take a message back from me.
Tell them how I am defying gravity. Just call me,
Edphaba.
yeah, call me Cynthia. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Second Cop. Glad you're with us to start the day on a Tuesday. Hey, I have a quick question. Personal privilege. Can I ask a really gay question?
Yeah.
Okay. For those of you who are using brow gel these days, how do we use it?
Oh, I don't use brow gel.
Can somebody help me?
What are you using it for? Like for
Okay, so,
color
like,
or to like
No,
hold them in
to
place?
like hold them in place because these
Okay.
days these brows are a little unruly. So I got some brow gel.
From Elf.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I saw it in Target. I'm like, oh, $6, great.
Sure.
Cheaper the better. So apparently not.
I wouldn't have told you to get Elf. No offense to the Elf community.
Know
Let me
what
see.
to do. Okay, so here's my question. So I put it on first this morning before I put on my foundation and all the other makeup, and I got like skin colored eyebrows because
Because you put your makeup on.
after I put the brow gel on, so it like
So
stuck to the gel.
You're finding that your brows are all over the place.
Yes, they need to just be trimmed a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like to do eyebrows first, but I'm using pencil
Okay.
and not gel.
Well,
But are you setting it with powder?
I mean, I have no idea, Taylor. I just
Okay.
am like here. I just show up for work.
So what did you do today?
Barbara says put it on last. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
What did you do today?
So today I put it on first mistakenly and then put my powder on like so that I don't look like a greasy, like I just came out of the air fryer.
I would do it last, but like give it time to dry and don't touch it.
Well, and then here's what happened. And I'm like, oh God, maybe I don't know what happened. Maybe if I put more on after I
No.
put my makeup on, it'll
Maybe
help.
if I do more.
Now it just is like, look at how it's like skin
It's-
colored. Yeah.
Foundation in there.
Danielle says I use pencil after foundation and powder.
Right.
Connie says Elf is a great brand, Taylor. Linda says I'm from the hippies era. We didn't use makeup and I still don't.
Connie, I'm a makeup snob. Like, I go into Ulta and they know me.
Can you explain what exactly this is? So this is basically clear brow and lash mascara. So essentially, I mean, I thought I was using brow gel, but
So brows are a whole different world. Brows are very important to me. I do brows first, which I feel like is controversial. A lot of people do brows last or somewhere in the middle. I do brows first. But some people fill in their brows. I don't have very prominent brows without the pencil. So I do pencil. Some people do with more like hair on their brows that gets a little unruly.
yeah.
Use that gel to just like tame it and like put it in place and do that whole thing.
Lynn also says Elf is a great brand.
No shade to Elf. Elf is good for like, I think there's certain makeup brands that you can buy drugstore and certain makeup items you can buy drugstore and certain things you can't.
Jeff Baker, I know those
wanna see
eyebrows are
that.
a little unruly these days.
Kenny says Bethany Frankel also is an Elf supporter.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't know. So I mean, Danielle says I can only wear Clinique around my eyes where I get a reaction. John, what do you use?
I am all natural.
Oh, he's natty.
Do you get your eyebrow? Do you do your eyebrows or you just let them
Yeah,
rock?
you gotta give him one of these.
Okay.
You gotta lick them first.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
God.
Ready to go.
So here I am, just a little gay boy from Long Island, trying to
doing
figure it out
great.
in the world, and
You clean your makeup brush?
no,
Edward.
I know I need
You
to.
never have?
I mean, I haven't. It's gross.
Well,
It's nasty.
you also, when you put it on, like imagine Ed right before the show. He's like, do it like your technique is so fun to watch.
Thank you. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, Cindy, that's sweet. I appreciate you. Jeanette, I do. I love Kiehl's
Kiehl's
eye
is
cream.
wonderful.
So what I've been using lately, though, is not a Kiehl's product. But I do use a lot of their products because I like the way they feel. They work.
I like Kiehl's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not partial to one brand. I'm willing to try stuff out, but you got suggestions, throw them on me, baby. Peter says I get my eyebrows trimmed when I get a haircut. Just had them trimmed this weekend. Okay, sometimes I have my hairdresser.
I have my brows.
Ooh.
My friend has hers, like, I forget what it's called. You can get them, like,
Threaded?
tattooed. No, you
Oh.
can get them, like, temporary
Um,
tattooed on.
Yeah, what is it called? My husband's cousin's wife does that.
I forget what it's called.
Lauren, are you here? Lauren, what does Shannon do? I can't forget. Forget what they're called. It's like you're getting them like tattooed on, right?
What's the word for that? I don't know. But my friend does that, and when I have enough money, one day I'll do that too.
Microblading.
Microblading.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
Anita.
yeah, yeah.
Queen
Thank you.
Anita is here with us. Yeah, okay. So maybe I just have to figure it out. So you're saying do it last.
I would do it last because it's wet, right?
Yeah.
But you're putting out. So put your foundation on
Hmm.
and all that stuff, and your powder on, and then put it
Okay.
on.
Thank you.
I think.
Lori says I'm always tweezing.
Or you'd have to put it on first, like way ahead of time, and then let it dry. That's the issue. Is that it's like sticky. Also, why are you putting your foundation on your eyebrows?
I'm not. I think it got in my eyebrows.
It just wiped its way
Yeah.
down.
Andromeda, good morning. Everything has gone up to the point where I can't even stay ahead anymore. My pay rate. Oh, okay. I get it. We're switching topics here.
You're like, oh my
Okay.
God. I'm like, how expensive is makeup?
I'm
Oh,
like, wow,
that
me too. Who knew?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about that. Everything is so much more expensive these days. We're talking even about the cost of food.
Especially the cost of food. I went grocery shopping yesterday. and,
Yeah.
like, good gracious, you can't get anything. Obviously, we've talked a lot about eggs, bird flu impacting
The avian
the
flu.
prices of eggs and the whole egg shortage situation. I got some for $4.70 yesterday, which is not bad considering, but maybe a year ago I would have been like, excuse me.
Yeah, hello.
And I got I use coupons at Dashes now, and I got a free bag of cheese, thank God.
It turns out more and more people are using coupons to try and save some cash and are doing a lot of comparison shopping these days. I'll tell you, it wasn't yesterday, it was Sunday. We don't typically veer from our shopping experience, but Sunday we did. And Sunday we went to Price Right
Oh,
on Elmwood Avenue,
by like past North Street,
just right there. Yeah, yeah,
where the
yeah.
laundromat is.
Mhm. Right by the UPS store. And, it's very similar to Aldi in the fact that they've got really good products at lower prices, and their bags are free. So if you need a paper bag, you can get them for free instead of paying 5 cents. But I will tell you that our shopping trip at Price Right on Sunday with about the same stuff that we buy at Wegmans, no shade to Wegmans, I love Wegmans, but it was about half the cost.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I haven't shopped at Wegmans in years. There's some things that you have to get the name brand. You have to go to a store like Wegmans or a store like Tops. But I prefer to go to multiple grocery stores. Like I go to Aldi, I go to Trader Joe's, and like see what I can get for the cheapest price, rather than going to one store and just like putting it all on the register and being scared of what's gonna come up when they tell me to swipe my card.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and you're watching it ring everything up, and you're like, okay, yes.
I'm like, that's
you're-
gonna be what, like 50 something, and they're like, 86.43.
Well, and you're pricing it out in your head. I mean, that's what we spent for 2 people the other day.
What,
$86.
at the grocery store?
Yeah.
That's not bad. I spent
Well,
86
no,
on myself.
that's my point.
Oh, at Price Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Kelly says you've gotta shop sales.
Mark said he likes Price Right a lot.
Honestly, I do too, and I've been eating a lot of their produce, and it's really good. Lori says the other day at Dollar General, the Dollar General tea was marked $10.
Whoa.
That
Yeah,
ain't $1.
Dollar General is getting a little wild. I have a Dollar General right around the corner from my apartment. I go all the time because I fill up my little thing at my desk with candy.
Yeah.
That's super expensive these days.
$10
Those
tea
little
don't make you
bags I
holla.
get like $8.
Jeez.
Lori says she does what I do, going to different stores and seeing what you can get. Like I know if I need eggs or if I need like sugar or any of the basics, I'm not gonna go to like the bigger stores. I'm just gonna go to Aldi. I don't need the name brand sugar. Like it'll be fine. I'll
You're
just
not
get
buying Domino?
no. I'm not buying Domino. I'm just getting
You're
the one
buying
that
Famino?
the one that says sugar on it, and I do what I gotta do.
Hey, MB, good morning. I was going to go buy corned beef to cook, and I was shocked at the price.
How much?
Yeah, I mean, especially right around St. Patrick's Day. I'm surprised
I
they're not on
know.
sale.
Well, you would think you got it. That's why you got to shop around. Go to store to store.
Rebecca, good morning to you, Rebecca. Rebecca says it's odd. You Democrats said there was no inflation just last year and told the rest of us to get better jobs. Then when Trump returns to office, talk about all high food prices. Rebecca, who are you calling a Democrat?
Edward. Ed takes the suit jacket off for one day. He's got the t-shirt on.
I mean, like, can we stop with these dumb comments? No offense, Rebecca. Like,
No one said anything. No one brought
Seriously.
anything up until
Like,
you brought politics up.
this is just old at this point. Like, I'm gonna rant. I am so over that kind of talk with the media. Where I'm going through the comments yesterday
gosh.
on some of the stuff that we're covering, like especially when it comes to the CO strike, which we'll talk about in a second. Don't get ahead of us just yet. But I'm going through some of the comments there, and it's like, oh, the Channel 7 is doing a
media.
terrible job covering this. How about giving us the real story? Where is the news doing this? Look, for 14 days, we've been doing the same exact thing. We have literally been covering this to, and I think, the fullest extent.
Yes. And we can only do what we're told. We can only say what other people tell us. We have to report on everything. We can't
Right.
just like say nothing or like when politics things come up, we say what's being said. No one has any kind of agenda. We're literally just telling you what's going on.
Right? It's not for us to make a judgment. It is literally to report the facts.
People shoot the messenger, us, all the time.
So,
We're
Rebecca,
just letting you know what's going on, man.
We're glad to share your voice, happy to uplift your views, but good Lord, please spare me.
Give us a break, please.
Oh my God.
I love a good Ed rant on a Tuesday morning.
This is Ed Talk. Thank you for coming to my Ed Talk.
Julie says she's gone to the food pantry. It's getting like desperate out there. Honestly, at this point, you got to do anything you can do to get by. Every single food item, and I think MB chimed in. She said what the price was on the corned beef. How much was it?
Sorry,
I think it was $7.99. It was
wasn't
during your rant.
ignoring my. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, $7.99 a pound.
Whoa.
And she didn't buy it. Jeez.
My Catherine Clare is here. Hi, Catherine. Good morning.
Not
Glad you're
Edward.
with us. Caitlin, politics and religion, crazy discussions always happen.
But somehow, when you're not talking about either politics or religion, they still come up.
Right, somebody brings it up. It's like putting your toe in the water and be like, ooh, it's too cold. Gotta get out of here.
And it's too hot.
Lynn is funny. I love when Ed gets like this. Get him, Ed.
I love how you started to say, can I rant? And then you go, no, I'm going to rant. There's no option.
Jeff Baker says, you guys have been doing a great job interviewing the CEOs and their positions. Thank you very much. I
we
agree.
try really hard.
And you know what? I have to be completely honest with you. I am totally proud of the way we have covered this. And I think, and I'm not watching anyone else, to be honest with you, because I really care about what we do inside this building. I think that people like Derek Hyde, like Eileen, Kristen, they have done really incredible, deep reporting here that frankly I think is needed.
I mean, we're asking the questions. We're there every day. I mean, how many times have we been there? And it's not like we're reusing the same old soundbite from 2 weeks ago.
Right.
We're out on the picket lines every single day, interviewing people, even on the weekend, It's a lot of good work. You were asking questions of docs yesterday. It's a
Right.
real team effort, and we're doing the best we can,
Demi, glad you're with us as well. Thank you, Ed, for the rant about remarks. I'm getting so sick of it all the time. Just about every post on Facebook, someone always ends up bringing politics into it. I'm getting really old. It's getting really old, she says. I think this is half of what's wrong with our world is people's wanting to start an argument all the time. Right, like...
At 8 a.m., girl.
Oh, my God.
But the day just started, and
you
we're already
need to calm
beefing.
down. Like Taylor Swift
You
said.
need to calm down.
Seriously. I'm not a news girl, Caitlin says. I'm not usually one to look into things, but when I want info, Channel 7. Oh, I appreciate that. How's Katie, baby? They're good. They're doing really well.
Paula says, you okay, Ed?
Kelly's right. I'm just, like, at the end of the day, like, you're looking at us and you're just watching a screen, but would you come up to me in Wegmans and say that to my face? You Democrats are blah, 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 blah.
Right.
No! Mind your manners.
Gracious.
Let's talk about how
Too
tariffs
much.
are going up also. The tariffs on Canadian goods and Mexican goods are also now overnight going up higher than they already were.
Yep. That was the breaking news overnight. We've got some graphics here. So China already had the 10% tariff. We already had the 10% tariff on China. Now it's going up to 20, adding another 10%. Can you go back to the other one, the graphic? Yeah. Okay, boom. Canada, right now at 0%, but now 25%, same for Mexico. This obviously was supposed to go into effect a couple weeks ago, but then it got delayed. But now here we are, and there's this new round of tariffs. And the whole goal here, the president says, is to cut down on drug trafficking and cut down on illegal immigration. That's the plan here. And then to also boost the American economy by having more products made here.
Okay, but with a 25% tariff now on Canada,
That's a lot.
25 on Canada, 25 on Mexico, the price of goods expected to go up. So we were just talking about how prices at the grocery store are super high, but let's look at what the actual impact is here when you're going to the grocery store. Good Morning America just put this out there this morning, and I thought it was fascinating.
Okay, so this
So
is
look at what's
chicken, wheat,
imported here.
but beef is already going up. We were just talking about how beef is going to be more expensive, so now probably even more expensive. Okay, so wheat going to affect bread and these kind of things. Soybeans.
Wheat. So we're talking like wheat and soybean. I mean, we're talking a couple of like different allergens here. So wheat and soybeans are used in everything, right?
Yeah.
Chicken and beef, though. I mean, we're already paying a lot of money for chicken.
Gosh, that Easter dinner is going to be expensive.
No kidding. What about Mexico, John? What do we got from Mexico that's imported here? I mean, we're talking things like avocados, bananas
Oh,
potentially.
yeah.
I mean, we're really, I mean, bananas at Wegmans have been 49 cents a pound for the last however many years,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, so this is
$2,000 more a year. That's the impact on all of us.
at the grocery store?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to be baking as much, I don't think, this year. I just baked today. Did you have my bread?
I didn't yet.
You should try some of it.
Okay.
It's pretty
The
delicious.
chocolate orange.
Chocolate orange swirl bread.
Anita wondering, why is China only going up 20%, but Canada is 25%? So China had already had that
The 10%.
exactly, that tariff imposed already. The ones on Canada and Mexico were paused as they tried to work out fentanyl issues and illegal immigration at both borders. But now President Trump is basically saying, look, time's up. This has got to
Tariffs are
go.
going in.
Right. So here we are. We're entering a day and age where everything is going to cost us so much more. But the goal also, beyond control of the drugs and illegal immigration, is to also get things made here in the United
Right.
States.
Yeah, and Canada's saying right back at you.
Right.
We're going to put tariffs right back on you. So we'll see what the impact is or how soon we'll feel that impact. But
Jeff Baker, exactly. I guess we'll have to buy U.S. products. How horrible. You know, I see a lot of comments. Isn't it reciprocal? Sorry. Canada was talking about cutting up power. Interesting.
She said,
Isn't it reciprocal? They're going to charge us too. Yeah.
Right.
And we heard from Justin Trudeau, who basically said, look, game on, U.S. We're going to charge you a tariff on more than $180 billion worth of goods. So it's all going to come back to us in the end.
Catherine says technology will be expensive. All those computer chips come from China, and Apple recently announced a big investment in
the
Now they're going to
US.
start building things here.
Yeah, I saw that. That'll be really interesting.
And like, how fast can we do these things? I think that's what's interesting. Choking on my Celsius. When the tariffs go into effect, how soon can companies shift and say, okay, now we're going to make things in America?
Right. And you know, what's the expense going to be to us at that point? Because, you know, like labor in China is obviously low, which is why a lot of these companies outsource to China. So how much are we going, I mean, minimum wage here. I mean, we're going to start paying our people $20 an hour. I mean, how much more expensive is that going to be for us? It'll be interesting. Somebody asking, did I see Katie? I honestly have not seen Katie in what's almost been 2 months.
I know. Is that so crazy for you?
Yeah.
It's probably the longest you guys have gone without
it's
seeing each
weird.
other.
I mean, I have obviously known Katie for 14 years. And so, you know, we'd see each other out in the beginning of like my career here, her, you know, mid-career. God, yeah, it's been 2 months. Isn't that crazy? Maybe we'll have a special guest on Friday, but time will tell. Also, let's talk about parking. Do you come downtown and do you ever find yourself in a position where it's like, holy cow, A, I can't find a parking spot, and B, if I park here, will I get a ticket?
Okay, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm coming downtown, first of all, I'm rolling my eyes because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so annoying. There's gonna be no parking. So I'm going to Shays tonight to see The Wiz. And my friends and I are carpooling because there's realistically no way we're gonna get 4 cars parked downtown
You just gotta
at
ease
a
on
reasonable
down the
price.
road.
Ease on down the road. Da-na-na-na-na.
It turns out, like outside Fatty Beer. Have you been to Fatty Beer on Genesee Street? It's right by the Electric Tower.
It's a good spot. You can bring
Yeah, it's
dogs
pretty
there.
cool. I love going to their patio in the summer. I am confident that people who are driving down there are having a hard time finding parking. And in doing so, they're parking in places that perhaps they shouldn't be parking, or during times when they are not allowed to park wherever it is that they're parking.
Now, a lot of people we spoke to earlier this morning said sometimes these signs that they have downtown
Right.
are just confusing. So they don't know whether or not they can park, where they need to pay. Do they need to do the Buffalo Roam app? And then this is the owner of Fatty Beer
Right.
here saying it's militant the way that the city's issuing these parking tickets, he says things are getting more aggressive. So if you do park downtown, have you noticed that more people have tickets on their cars? Have you noticed that you're getting ticketed when you're parking downtown?
Well, look at what Ben has to say. Every time I park downtown, I usually park illegally because I'm not paying $5 to park for 10 minutes.
And then if you go to one of those lots or something like that, you're paying
Right.
like $20 for 10 minutes.
You know, so Anita's right. You've got to use the parking app if you're paying for parking
Yeah.
these days,
Oh,
especially
there's like 12 of
downtown.
them too.
Right. Well, the Buffalo Roam
That's the
app.
cities.
Right. So typically it's a city space that you're parking in if you're parking on the street.
Mm-hmm.
If you're parking in a lot, it's a different story. It's a private lot. But consider this. The city of Buffalo made about $5 million between 2022 and 2023 when it came to parking tickets. And the city is flat broke. They ain't got no money.
So they need this cash.
So they are looking for ways to raise that revenue. And part of that is, unfortunately for us, parking tickets. But it comes at a cost. Not only like a physical cost when it comes to parking tickets, but also the idea that it might be driving people away from downtown Buffalo, which is what Nick Fatty is saying.
Right. So if you're a business owner in downtown Buffalo and you're starting to see, your business dry up because people are like, I don't want to park downtown. I don't want to go through the headache of having to go all the way down there, coming back and I see that, orange or yellow
envelope,
sticking on my my windshield wipers.
And he just says, wow, the city's mismanaging. Lori says, if you park illegally, they have been towing.
My friend just took the bar exam and was at the convention center. It's an all-day test. He came out and there was a boot on his
Oh,
car
that's
with
frustrating.
a $90 price tag.
Well, he's a lawyer now, hopefully. So
yeah, he can fight
maybe
it.
Exactly.
He lives in Rochester, though. I felt so
That
bad.
does suck.
Oh, that's
awful.
terrible.
Shonda, good morning. I love that Big Ditch allows us to use that area next to them for free now. And
Oh, do they?
I believe that's news to me. But Tapo is doing the same thing too. I think you could
That
park
little
in
one right
lots.
next to them.
Yeah, which is great.
I mean, that's huge. I think Connie was giving me advice for my show tonight. She says, go early and have dinner. And you already know I am,
Yes.
girl. So I'm going to Hearth and Press across the street. We have a
Delicious.
reservation for 6 o'clock. We're going to get some pizza, have a drink, and then go enjoy the show.
Julia says it drives me away in terms of parking. And then Chuck. Chuck has a lot to say, and we are happy to share your voice, Chuck. That's because your city's run by Democrats, and Democrats will destroy what they are in control of.
But you'll never hear the truth here on Channel 7 because they
Never.
carry water for the Democrat Party.
I
That's
am
why
a
this country
water boy.
is in the boat because
The
the
mainstream media never tells us the
truth.
truth.
They tell us what the Democrat machine wants us to know. This is disgusting to the American citizens. The media is supposed to be on our side, policing our government, not lying for them.
Is that the air or is that actual
No, that's
crickets?
John. We have a soundboard now.
Oh my God! Please, please. Like 10-second roll.
I'm gonna hop in. I do want to say I live downtown, and something that happened to me either a year ago or 2 years ago. I parked on one side of the road. There's no signs anywhere that says you can't park there for the overnight winter rules.
Okay.
I got like a $50, $60 ticket. I go to City Hall,
Mm.
and the person at City Hall literally said to me, "Well, we can't put signs everywhere."
And did you pay it or did you
I
get?
had to pay it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I
50
couldn't
to
even fight
60
it.
bucks?
I couldn't even fight it. They said I was in a bus route, and I was
Mm.
like halfway up my street too, so it wasn't even. And then a week ago or 2 weeks ago, my dad was up visiting, and we tried to go to Lucky Day.
Mhm.
It took
Mhm.
us like 15 minutes just to find a place to park.
Yeah, that's frustrating. And so many
Yeah.
times, especially during the weekend, when things are going on downtown, it's even more difficult. Like you're
It's
talking about
impossible.
the home show coming up. You're talking about the convention center in
Mhm.
particular. It's going to be so hard to find those parking spaces. And we know it's an issue, but, at the same time, what is the city to do? We're already at a point where we're saying, okay, it's free parking on Saturday and Sunday, and after 5, it's free. I don't know. It's really like you're stuck between a rock and a
know.
hard place.
Jeff Baker says you can't put up signs with $5 million.
Right, you got to do something.
Well, I think there are so many issues that downtown is plagued by currently. You have the parking issue and this whole thing, but then people were saying Well, it should just be easier to get around
Mhm.
because we have the metro,
Right, fix the train system.
which people have been fighting for so long. But I just don't understand how we live in a city, in the second largest city in the state, and we only have a train that goes like pretty much. How many stops are like 16? I think.
If that. It goes
If
in a straight
that.
line.
It goes in a straight line. It doesn't take you to the Bill Stadium. It doesn't take you to Niagara Falls. It doesn't take you to the airport. All these places that people would need to go. It's a city and you can't really get around. You have to drive and then the parking's impossible. You can't walk in the winter.
And Nina says some of the times the signs are very confusing and hard to read. And that's exactly Jeff Baker. The police have to get out and generate their own wages. And it's not even the police, it's like the parking enforcement down here.
Have you ever seen them?
Oh, yeah. Because
Out there giving
I'm
them
on
tickets.
an alternate side street, especially during the winter.
Mm,
And they are out and about, no doubt.
ticketing.
So, just keep that in mind if you're heading downtown. With the last 5 minutes that we have here, let's talk about the corrections officer strike.
Day
because
12.
Day
Oh,
15.
11. Oh, 15. I can't even count.
Where you been, girl?
I missed the last couple days.
It has been one thing after another. And so yesterday I told you about how some of those who are going back to work are being heckled by some of those who are holding the line. And still, those folks are staying on the job. Listen to what some of them are saying.
Hurry up, guys! Get back to work! They really need you! In the arsenal!
My favorite is when the guy in the binoculars goes, "Give him some of that sweet chin music, you big tough guy."
Oof.
Not a laughing matter, obviously, because this really is a serious thing to talk about when you consider that their safety is at risk, number one. But number two, there's a sharp divide between the people who are going back to work and the people who are staying put. Everyone, frankly, being mandated back to work at this point, despite being out on FMLA or out on leave for whatever reason. But
being told they're going to lose their health insurance, and 10 people we
Right.
know at least have already been fired.
Anita says big support going to Albany today. She says hold the line. Jeff Baker says that's going to create tension when this is over. And so,
Right? Working next to each other.
One thing that I thought was interesting, when I was, Anita says every group of people has a loudmouth. Welcome. One thing that I thought was interesting in talking to some of these CEOs, as I have over the last week, 2 weeks, frankly, because as we've been talking about this is a learning experience
Yeah.
for us. One thing that I've heard is that the reason why they're asking officers to stand in solidarity with each other is so that there isn't that sharp divide.
Right. You want to avoid any tension.
Right. But
among
what
the
do you
ranks, if you
do in
will.
this kind of a position when you're in this situation where it's literally go back to work, keep your state pension, your state benefits, your state health care?
Your life is at risk, basically. Your
Right.
livelihood.
What do you do? How do you make that decision or stand in solidarity and lose everything?
It's so tough.
I mean, and you're right. I mean, the situation has garnered a lot of attention where this is probably the most progress that we've made in years.
It's been huge. I mean, we've been talking about this, as we just mentioned, for 15 days.
Right.
I mean, these are issues that we hadn't talked about before that weren't, headlines of the news. But now, every single day, we've been talking about what these CEOs are going through, sharing their voices every single day. I
Mhm.
mean, I think that's huge. I think that's a big step forward from where we've been. Obviously, they haven't gotten everything they want.
Sure.
They still want more.
And they're not going to.
And they want to feel safe to go to work at the bare minimum.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Kelly says, so sad. Totally understand the hold the line, but don't understand the heckling the people that financially can't. Jeff Baker says, tough call, especially with a young family. When I talked to the DOCS commissioner, the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision yesterday, Marticello, I believe his last name is, in this first press conference that they've had in 2 weeks, what I asked was, why not just repeal the HALT Act?
And they
why-
say we can't.
And why can't the governor just do it with an executive order? And what we found out is that they need a 50% plus one vote to get it repealed. Excuse me. The governor can do it, but they would have a 50% plus one vote to overturn that executive order, which they pretty much have.
Oh.
So it's just kind of like a big circle. But interesting. I mean, if that's what they want, why can't we just get it done? And then rebuild from there?
Yeah. That's so tough.
Tony, good morning. This has a huge effect on the inmates as well, but they can't put their voice out with them unless they are out of hell. Lydia says, honestly, I would probably quit and find a different job. I wouldn't work all those hours and be abused. Interesting
Yeah.
conversation.
And a lot of people have opened their doors. Different jails and counties have said, hey, you can come work here.
Listen, we appreciate you being part of the conversation and genuinely enjoy sharing all sides of the issues. That's our job here, to look at things objectively, and we're going to keep doing that. Like and share this with your friends.
Let them know about Second Cup. Tell them, hey, the best show in town's on at 8 o'clock every morning.
Seriously, but only
Join the gang.
on Facebook Live and our WKBW app. Have a great day.